Good evening. It is Monday, March 5th, 2018. We are the Bitter Knitters. My name is Jacqueline and Arthur is here.
Hey.
How's it going?
Yeah, not too bad.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Enjoying the warm weather. I saw we had pretty good weather this weekend, and it was like another winter bomb cyclone hit the east coast of America.
Yeah, I found it cold as hell today. I mean, yeah, we didn't get the...
I didn't go outside, just on my deck. It was okay.
I found it to be kind of chilly today.
Okay. Yeah. Well, it's still March.
Well, exactly. I mean, by all means...
People who think spring is here are crazy.
This time of year, at least, especially here, you know, we get the... we're still in like negative 20s with fucking snow, you know?
Yeah. Well, I found the last maybe since I've really been noticing the weather, so maybe like the last 10 years, that it stays cold right until almost the end of April. And then like by the end of May, we're having heat waves.
Yeah.
It's like spring is so short now.
Oh, yeah. Global warming, I mean, as much as it sucks for people that live in the coastal parts of the world, I mean, I feel like I'm going to luck out. Like if I could ride this out and, you know, I could stay alive for a few hundred years, you know, I'm looking at like, I'm going to be in the tropics. Like I'm going to have that beach house in Bermuda. You know what I mean? But I'm going to be sitting here in Canada.
I'll have to move somewhere. I don't know where. With the poles flip like they're saying they're going to flip. I don't know where the hell I'd have to move.
Like you're going to have to move somewhere ridiculously hot.
Yeah. No, because I don't like the heat. I have to live in the pool.
I mean that's like historically, as far as we know, as hot, right? So you're going to have to go to a place like the Yucatan or Central America or something like that. And so you get your, you know, your 4 seasons, your winter and whatnot.
I just want, like, you know, this is why I always say that I should move out west to BC because it's more temperate for the most part.
Yeah.
Which is what I would enjoy.
Yeah.
But I don't want to live in the Ring of Fire, thanks anyway.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's true. Like anywhere in Canada that's kind of poised for a big natural disaster. It is, unfortunately, British Columbia.
Yeah. And really, honestly, Canada. Toronto, Ontario, probably the best place to live in Canada. Yeah. Just weather-wise and natural disaster. We don't get the hurricanes for the most part like down east does. Oh. We don't get the amount of snow they get down east for the most part, unless you're in Quebec. And you know, and out in the prairies, they get like crazy heat waves, crazy cold, flies.
The cold there, right? You have no trees, no nothing breaking it apart. Like fuck that, no.
Yeah.
No,
you have to plug your car in all day long if you're not in it.
And being nestled right on top of a Great Lake is really nice.
Yeah. And we don't get the snow that Buffalo gets because we're on the right side of the lake.
Exactly.
So, yeah, I think we're in a great spot. I would recommend this area of Ontario to anybody.
Yeah, and now that weed's going to be legal. You know,
yeah, there you go. There's even more reason to come to Canada. Okay, so this leads us into, I guess, I didn't mean it to, but it kind of worked out well. We'll talk about our first story. Ottawa. You know, I've never spent any real time in the city of Ottawa. I've been to the outside of Ottawa.
Yeah.
Apparently it's a nice town. I do want to go there. Now, they have a very famous market area called Byward. And there's a group of the people who own businesses there. I don't know how many businesses are involved. I don't know if it's all of them. I don't know if it's 5 people or what. But they've started a petition online called Save Our Market. It was launched by one of the owners. His name is Patrick O'Shaughnessy. And he's mad. He's mad that there's 3 homeless shelters in the area. He says that they're costing the businesses there tens of millions of dollars annually because people aren't going or they're being harassed by panhandlers. And he literally calls the homeless people cancer. He wants all 3 of them to be closed and sent, all 3 of the shelters relocated somewhere away from the Byward Market, you know, immediately.
I kind of sympathize with the dude. I mean, you can't say it in such a fucking brash kind of way, but I mean, I get it. I mean, there's places in Toronto even, like if we go down there to shop, that I won't go because I don't want to be harassed by panhandlers.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm kind of on the fence with this. Look, Toronto has, if you go downtown to the Yonge Street area, just north of the Eaton Centre, there's 3 missions there. There's a teenage mission and there's 2 men's homeless shelter missions. Yeah, there's homeless people, but I mean, I feel fine walking down the street there. I've never been accosted, and I've been going since the 80s when it was like a little rougher than it is now. Yeah, I mean, the businesses are all succeeding down there, so I don't know why Ottawa would be losing more money from homeless people than Toronto would be.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Ottawa's a shithole anyway. But I didn't care. I didn't like that fucking place one bit. I did not like it. I mean, yeah, I found it gross. But yeah, no, I don't agree that like homeless people would cause a company to lose fucking like $10 million.
Well, and the shelters have been there for decades.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, anybody who has a business that hasn't been there since like the 1940s, you kind of went there knowing it was a homeless shelters in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Right. And then my other thing is where do you think they're going to go? I mean, homeless people are a fact of life in big cities, in small cities. Well, yeah. Your town is a small city and you have homeless people.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we definitely do.
Yeah.
And it is just, it's fair. It's a reality of living in a populated area. You know, there's nothing you can do about it. You can't force these homeless shelters to be on the outskirts of cities and stuff like that, because panhandling and, you know, asking for fucking money is how these guys get by, or these people get by, you know, so.
You know, I have to say the panhandling is getting out of control. Like, you're not even on the city streets. Like, I can't come out of Shoppers Drug Mart in my neighborhood and there's panhandlers there. Yeah. And a couple of them I see regularly, and I know that they have mental illness. Yeah. I'll give them a loonie. I'll give them some change. The people when you're driving down the street that are waiting at the lights for you, or when you come off the highway, they're coming up to my car when I'm waiting to pick up my kids from work.
Yeah.
You know, it's out of control in my neighborhood. And if my neighborhood is like that, I can imagine it's everywhere.
Oh, it absolutely is. There's a couple that stand at my local Tim Hortons drive-through begging for change all the time.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, again, though, I kind of sympathize with these business owners. I don't think he should have, you know, said they're a cancer. You can't go around saying shit like that nowadays, because you're going to get, you know, obviously the social justice crowd on your ass.
Yeah.
And once they start yelling, you know.
They're going to boycott this guy's store.
Exactly, you know, so.
Yeah. Something has to be done. Look, we can't be Rudy Giuliani and clear them all out of the city and dump them wherever you dumped them.
No.
Back when he cleared out New York.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't solve a problem.
No.
What the solution is, I have no idea, because it's not just a matter of people not having houses. A lot of these people are mentally ill.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
100%. Yeah, it's sad, and it's true. Like, I've even known someone in my own family. He was a great uncle who preferred to be homeless. This guy had money, he had a place to live, but he preferred it. He preferred to just go sit in the city.
Are you talking about the ginger one?
Ginger.
Was he gingerish?
I don't think he had hair.
I don't want to say his name. I'm going to send the message to you.
I was going to say, it was my great uncle Percy.
Okay, I know Percy.
Yeah. Now, Percy preferred to be homeless.
Yeah.
Like, he enjoyed it. He enjoyed sitting on the streets with his wino buddies and just drinking and asking for money. Yeah. You know, so how do you end that? How do you put a stop to that even? Because that's a real fucking thing. Like, that's
some
real.
People do honestly prefer it. You're right, and whether it's because they can't mentally realize it's not safe for them, or they just don't care, or whatever. You know, there's the Scarborough bum that everybody knows in Scarborough. Mm-hmm. Scott talks to him, and one time this guy will come up and hug Scott.
Yeah.
And he was talking to another guy, and the guy's like, "Yeah, I know him. He has money."
Yeah.
He has money, but he's mentally ill and he wants to be on the street, but they give him a bus pass so he can get around, and he gets, they give him some money if he doesn't panhandle it so he can get food. But yeah, the guy wants to be homeless.
Yeah, he wants to be, right? So I mean, again, that one's an even harder fix than the fucking gun issue. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it really is. Like, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know, like, of a solution for Ottawa's problem, you know?
Well, and the funny thing is I will just say this. So they talked to a few people from the community that weren't business owners.
Okay.
Or I guess some of them were business owners. One guy said the circumstances have been okay for her, but she'd prefer if there weren't so many homeless people, which, is understandable. She says, I feel safe, but I don't like that they hang around and make the city not look so good, which is reasonable. Yeah. Somebody else who lives there, she's been living there for 25 years, says she feels happy and comfortable here. I think it's important to have a mixed neighborhood. And another man said he didn't feel unsafe at all.
Right.
So the few swath of people they managed to talk to is not a safety issue for them.
No, I wouldn't imagine it is. Like, I've never felt unsafe around vagrants.
No.
I just hate the fucking begging me for money or my smokes or fucking, just anything. Like, I even will leave sporting games in like the middle of the summer when it's really bad, when they're allowed to sit like pretty much inside the stadiums. I'll leave them early, just knowing that they're going to be here soon.
They're waiting out there for you.
Yeah. I don't fucking like it. for one, it's sad. Like, it's sad to fucking look at.
It is.
And I mean, I'm kind of a dick, and I don't give people shit. So.
Yeah, I normally don't. Honestly, I don't give a lot of change because I feel like the more you give them money, the more they hang around.
Yeah.
But there is one guy who's completely disabled. He walks kind of all, his arms he can't barely control. They're going all over the place, and he walks with his legs sticking out a weird direction from his body, and he doesn't speak clearly. So I mean, this guy's got real issues.
Yeah.
I give him money whenever I see him if I have it. And then there's another guy who's always out front of shoppers. He's very polite though, like, and he spoke to Scott. Scott always talks to the homeless people.
Yeah.
He said, I don't even care if people don't give me money. It's just like, acknowledge me and say hello, for this guy. So I think some of it is, and I've given him money. He's always very kind and stuff. He doesn't say fuck you, doesn't spit at people.
Yeah.
He's not a jerko. Some of them are just scary. Some of them are scary.
Oh yeah. And I mean, it's funny, like, how you're like picking them out. It's always been kind of funny to me how you do that. You know what I mean? You start seeing the same vagrants over and over. Like, and I mean, I don't spend a lot of time within the city, but I do know of, like, I mean, I know he's called the Barefoot Bandit. He sits right out front of Union, and he's always shoeless. I mean, people have given him shoes and shit like that, but I don't know. It's just
the Scarborough bum will take he'll hold his shoes in his hand and walk around.
Yeah.
Doesn't wear those shoes if he doesn't have to.
Yeah, and exactly, like, how do you stop that? And to me, that's like the real issue of the whole thing. Yeah. It's not just like, oh, my business, oh, my poor business. It's it should be that broader conversation of like, well, this is a real issue. Like,
yeah. And for the most part, even these panhandlers, as much as they're everywhere, they really are everywhere. It's not like the 90s when the squeegee kids were out and they were scaring people.
Yeah.
They're not aggressive. Well, I can remember watching them. I mean, I didn't have a car then, but I can remember being on the side of the road and watching them, and them banging on the windows and being like, "Give me some money now." Well, I didn't ask you to clean my window.
Well, the problem with the squeegee kids in Toronto was they were a bunch of punks. Yes. Like they were fucking punk rockers, right? So they're already like, they wake up fucking drunk and like they're just they're just aggressive and shit. Like because I was young when that was happening, but I can remember even being a kid and be like, no, they're just punk rockers. Like they're misunderstood. Like they're just
they
punks.
may be misunderstood, but they were scaring a lot of people.
Oh fuck yeah, no doubt. No fucking doubt. So, last thing I wanted to see is some fucking asshole running up to my car at 6 o'clock in the morning with a shirt that says leftover crack. Yeah. You know what I mean? I'm some fucking yuppie who has no idea what the fuck.
Fucking safety pin through his fucking eye.
Yeah, exactly. Shit. Like, no, fuck you, bud. Like, you're getting a steaming hot cup of coffee thrown in your fucking face.
Yeah. And they scared people. So, for the most part, I've never been, I don't think ever been aggressively approached by any or ever had anything. I mean, I know some people say that when they walk past the homeless people, if they don't give them money, they'll say rude things. I personally have never had that happen to me. And I've walked past many, many homeless people.
The only ignorant shit that's ever been said to me walking past someone on the street comes from fucking street preachers.
Oh yeah, they're
flat out. They're fucking ridiculous, but you know. And I mean, the funny thing is too about Ottawa is like, I mean, I didn't spend a lot of time there, but I was in a part that was like roughly, I'd say like middle class, like upper middle class. Like it was a clean place, but it still was scuzzy as fuck. Like, your whole city just looks like a bum toilet. So just shut up, bud.
And you got a shitty hockey team.
Yeah, you got a shit hockey team. You can't even show up for the fucking playoffs. Fuck you. Fuck your city. Are you French? Are you English? Make up your fucking mind.
Okay,
capital of this fucking country.
So we're moving on. This story I thought was pretty interesting. So we have a jury member who spent 5 months on a murder trial. I'm just waiting for the story to load up. Because it was a famous trial he was on. I can't remember which one it was. A man named Farshad Badakhshan. He was convicted of murdering his 23-year-old girlfriend, Karina Petrash. Okay. So they spent 5 months on this murder. They obviously saw, she was burnt in a fire as well as being stabbed. So they saw her burnt body. And it was pretty horrific for them. And so this guy was diagnosed, he says, with post-traumatic stress disorder, anxiety, depression, nervous shock, and other issues. And he believes it's obviously a direct result of being compelled to serve on the jury. Now he wants to sue the Ontario government for money because of this.
No, that's
he
a big
wants
fucking no.
$100,000 in damages.
Go fuck yourself. That's a big no. I'm sorry, you don't deserve money. There's an intense screening process for murder trials.
Yeah.
You pass that screening. I'm sorry, you don't get to be a little bitch now.
Like, it's too important. If you start awarding damages, what a slippery slope.
Right? No, that's fucking brutal. I don't like that one bit. I mean, again, like there is very, very rigorous screening to get onto a murder jury. Like they don't just it's not fucking traffic court or whatever. You know what I mean? Like they don't
an armed robbery, a hit and run. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, I've never been selected for jury duty, but I could imagine the line of questioning you would have to go through.
And most people lie to get off of jury duty.
Oh, fuck yeah.
They all claim they're racist or homophobic just so they can get off.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I don't agree with that one bit. I really
and
don't.
I'm not discounting that it was awful to see these pictures, but
no.
Compare that to something like the Paul Bernardo jury.
Yeah.
Chunks of people, Luca Magnotta.
Yep.
Anything, Jeffrey Dahmer. Yep. Now, I don't know if he had a jury or if he pled guilty. I can't remember. But anybody where you Ted Bundy.
Yeah.
These sort of pictures that you're forced to see are horrible. I mean, I remember in the Paul Bernardo jury, they literally had to watch the rapes of these girls.
Yep. Yeah. No, it's evidence for a fucking case. Like you have to see it. You have to see all evidence as a juror. I just don't understand like where he even thinks he has the right to say like, oh no, I got PTSD from that. Like, I'm sorry, but that's the name of the fucking game. Like,
go to your doctor and the Ontario government will help you get some counseling.
Yeah. Like, you'll get some counseling, you might get some meds, but you don't deserve to sue the government because you see some pictures.
We can't set that precedent.
No, that's fucked up. Like, I don't like that one bit. I really don't. I mean, and again, like, I'm willing to bet that it is fucking self-diagnosed PTSD. The motherfucker went on Tumblr a couple of times and just, that's what this is.
Yeah.
But it's so weird. Like,
I don't know if the judge, because I guess the judge has to accept whether there's a case there or not.
Yeah.
I don't know what that's at this point, whether he's just filed the papers or what. But I'm definitely going to be watching for this story because I don't think it's going to go through. I don't think any judge can allow it to go through.
I don't see how any any lawmaker could be like, no, they really have a case here. No.
Because you'll have all the people that have been, the biker murders that were down in London, Brandon, London, Ontario. All these people are going to come forward. Anybody who had to serve on a child pedophile jury.
Right? Like, I don't. No, that's not.
No.
That's so fucked up.
Yeah. So if you don't want to be on a jury because you don't think you can, trust me, I wouldn't want to see those pictures either. I know Arthur has no problem looking at that stuff, but I really don't like to see dead bodies.
No, I was just thinking that though.
I would try my best to get out of a jury, to be honest. Honestly, I would try my best.
I just don't. Like, there should be almost like a standing jury for murder cases.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I understand that it'd be hard to keep like a standing group impartial to these cases. You know what I mean? They get with how the news and the media is now. Like, you know everything.
Yeah.
Within the blink of a fucking eye. So I understand that it'd be hard to keep
unbiased.
Yeah. Right. But it's a fair enough point, though. Like, as much as I don't agree that this juror has the right to fucking sue the government for PTSD damages, it isn't an issue if you think about it. Like, you don't really know how you're going to act to gore and shit like that until you fucking see it. Like, you really don't know. And, like someone like me who, again, is a little bit weird and has a kind of a, an interest in that shit, like, I would be more suited to that
but then
aspect
you're sitting in the jury box and their families there crying and their kids are there and it adds another layer to that story.
Oh, absolutely. You get immersed in it. You start to exactly that. You're seeing the people that are pained by this. So it definitely does take a little bit more of an emotional toll. Yeah. But as far as the viewing,
I think you'd be okay on a jury like that.
Probably.
I think I'd get too emotionally attached. My bias would be I'd be very emotionally attached to the family, to the victim's family, and I'd probably just be like hating that murderer person.
See,
I don't think I could detach myself. I really don't think I could detach
at that point, wouldn't that like disqualify you for being a juror, period, though, right?
Yeah, I don't think I could be selected because I think I would just emphasize too much with the victims, even if I, you know.
See, cause I know that I can remain really impartial. Like I can, you know what I mean? I just don't give a fuck, you know. And I know that's really easy for me amongst like really any topic or anything like that. So but because it's true, like that's actually a real fucking problem if you do honestly think about that. Like nobody's really like it's not supposed to make you feel comfortable, you know. You're not supposed to go out after seeing something like that, you know, feel good about yourself or anything like that. But you know, like I just never really thought about that. Like,
how do you go to bed at night after being on a jury, like the OJ jury, even, you know, and seeing those pictures of Nicole and Ron?
Being in the same room day in, day out with the person that caused the trauma on said fucking photos or videos or audio or whatever the fuck it may be. I mean, I can understand that actually being fairly traumatizing for an individual. Yeah. But I still can't. I still don't agree with like
especially some of these people that fucked with the juries. You know, like the way they would look at the juries, like a Ted Bundy or Charles Manson.
Yeah. I mean,
I can imagine having nightmares for the rest of my life if I had to have looked at Charles Manson in the eye for too long.
Oh,
that guy had the craziest look on his face.
Yeah, but that's just I don't know. Like this one, it makes me feel weird because I'm starting to sympathize with this fucking juror a little bit. I am because like the more I start thinking about it, I'm like, that's fucking rough.
But he can't get a cash award. He really can't. I think the only thing the judge can do is order that the government pay for some psychotherapy and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because I think once you start giving damages and actual cash, you know, payout, it's too dangerous a precedent. You're going to
absolutely
everybody going back 50 years can now you know, sue the government.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Yeah.
And at that point, I hate people that sue, like, the government especially. Like, to me, that's just, it's just such a weak play. Like, it's such a weak fucking play. But, yeah, no, I think that's something that maybe somebody should do a trial run of, you know what I mean? Having a standing murder
like $1,000 pool of jury of people that are like almost sociopaths themselves and can remove themselves from emotions.
Well, that's it. Just people that have the ability to remove themselves from the actual images and not take it to heart. You know what I mean? Like you're saying, like you would, you know, sympathize with the family, where you can, where you do have that ability to just really stay impartial, to, you know, focus, not get worked up over the graphic images, the video, whatever. You know, because that would, to me, I mean, thinking about it now, it sounds like a good solution to something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, now I don't know how it would work in places, you know, like the U.S.
Small towns,
well, not small towns. I mean, you just do that like statewide kind of thing. But I'm talking about the states with like ridiculous murder rates, you know, where you would need like 10, 12 standing fucking juries, you know, because you're prosecuting 20 fucking murders a day.
But from what I was reading or watching on that podcast last week, they were talking about how few places actually clear their murder charges, which is kind of scary.
Yeah, I know it is. It's.
I really thought, like, you watch all these shows where like Dateline, where they catch the murderers all the time, and just watching this show when they're saying, like, you know, there's places that get less than 9%, you know, less than 5% clearance of their murder cases. And you're like, what the hell? I guess I could commit a perfect crime, and you know.
That's why they go so hard on the cases that they do solve. Yeah. They want to shove that, like, look, see, we can do our jobs.
Okay, so let's talk about a little lighter story for a bit. This is a woman who's suing the government again. Now she's suing the state of California for not recognizing Bigfoot as a species.
All right, I can back that one. I can get behind this. This is a movement I can gel with.
She says she's suing them for refusing to recognize the Sasquatch, not the Yeti, as an official species. Her name is Claudia Ackley. She's from Crestline, California, and she says she's ran into a Sasquatch last March on a trail in Lake Arrowhead with her daughter. She says they saw the Bigfoot 30 feet up the tree, extremely close to them, and even managed to film the encounter. Now, when you see the filmed encounter, I don't see no Bigfoot. I don't know what the hell she sees.
Yeah. I mean, fuck. I mean, until you prove to me that it's not real, Bigfoot exists.
If you don't have proof that it is real, you can't make it an official species.
Yes, I can. Look at fucking Christianity. If God's fucking real and I got no proof that he's fucking real, but I, no.
What about Loch Ness Monster? There's no proof of the Loch Ness Monster.
Real.
So you believe in everything. Chupacabra, whatever that word is.
El Chupacabra is real as shit. Like, that's the realest one of the group. Like, he keeps it real 24/7.
How come these people because I watch a lot of Bigfoot things, actually, because it is kind of fascinating.
Yeah.
But, like, you'd think with all these, like they put these little hidden cameras out and they catch, oh, look, we got this rare tiger that nobody's seen in 30 years. We got the weird cow deer mix in Vietnam that nobody's seen since the turn of the century. How come they can't get just like Bigfoot's leg? It's nothing.
I mean, you kind of answered it there, though, like with the examples you brought up that we haven't seen in this long. Right. So, but that means that we at least know stuff about it. We know how it moves. We know its feeding patterns and, yada, yada, yada. So we kind of know where to look. If there was some big, giant, fucking smart ape out there in the woods, I mean, we don't know where to begin. We we don't know the first thing.
They're always in the California Rocky Mountains from what I've seen on these shows.
Some of the stuff I've seen that, like, honestly, like, I'm not going to say it makes me fucking believe, but would open my mind a little bit more to the possibility is shit coming from Montana. I can't remember the guy's name. He had a Netflix documentary on.
Oh, I watched that Netflix one.
And I mean, the videotape.
Discovering Bigfoot, that one?
Yeah, Todd Standing.
Todd
Standing, that's the guy's name.
It's in the article here.
Yeah, like, that shit's pretty fucking convincing. Now, I'm not an expert on any of this shit, so I can't say whether it's fucking real or not, but I mean, his footage looks pretty convincing.
Yeah, that's the thing. Sometimes you see stuff, or like the feet, or they got the tufts of hair.
Yeah.
You gotta wonder, but then you got so many stupid people that like fake the footage, which ruins it. Makes us all disbelievers, right?
Yeah.
There's a Loch Ness one too. Actually, I just watched this weekend on Netflix, and was it? I don't think it was just Loch Ness. I think it was like weird creatures and stuff like that.
Right.
The biggest hoaxes in history, something like that.
Okay.
And they were talking about the Loch Ness Monster and these people that fake it or whatever they're doing.
Yeah. Well, there's you look at this animal. It's a fish. It's called the coelacanth. We thought this thing was extinct for like 70 million years.
Yeah.
And found it off the coast of fucking South Africa.
Yeah.
Randomly.
Well, there's still things to be discovered. That's the thing. Like, they find these things they thought were extinct or, they hadn't seen for so long.
Yeah, the world is fucking huge. Like,
and
ridiculous.
Even parts of California are still pretty untouched.
Yeah.
Especially up in those mountains. I could see that it's possible for something to be hiding.
Absolutely.
I don't know. I don't know. I really need to see some good proof.
And I bet that, like, there's probably some like ecological reasoning behind this lawsuit.
Yeah.
I guarantee you she's doing this to save said tract of land because it's Sasquatch habitat.
Yeah.
Right, but it's more to do with just that tract of land it's a way to keep it, like, unfucking zoned and, not built on and shit.
Yeah.
I'd be willing
Which is not a bad thing.
No,
it's not a bad thing. Let's keep our natural resources beautiful. And
fuck, in Iceland, they have the, what the fuck is it? Is it trolls or elves? One or the other.
I think it's elves.
Yeah, where you have to go to a zoning commission if you want to build a new house, and they have to tell you if it's fucking like traditional elf territory or not, whether or not you're allowed to build a house there. That's amazing. That's fucking dope as shit. Why can't California do some fucking, like, why can't California finally, like, stop being the fucking nagging, asshole that the world hates, at least I hate, and, do something fucking cool.
Yeah, I guess.
I don't know.
I remember, I have a funny story. I remember way back when I was a kid, like maybe 9 through 12. Mm-hmm. And I was watching a documentary on Bigfoot, and I was alone in the house. Mm-hmm. And we lived, I don't know if you remember our apartment there. We lived on the first floor, and we had a balcony. Even though we were on the first floor, we had like a little balcony that was at ground level, and a door out to the balcony. And I watched this documentary, and in the thing they were talking about being in the cabin, and the Bigfoots were like banging on the doors and trying to get in and shaking the whole cabin. And I was so scared. I kept looking at that door thinking Bigfoot was out there to get me.
Yeah.
Just walking around like Scarborough, coming to get me.
I mean, again, though, like, I haven't seen the the entirety of the boreal forest, considering it covers the entire fucking northern hemisphere of the world.
True.
But I would not be shocked to find out that there was some ape living that we didn't know, because it's super intelligent. You know what I mean? Like that's the whole thing, like, about Bigfoot or Sasquatch, is that you have to start with the assumption that this thing is fucking brilliant. You have to.
Well, it would have to be brilliant to avoid us for that long.
Right.
Avoid our cameras.
Now, I was arguing with my friend about this a little while ago. I mean, I was just being an asshole about it. But I was saying to him, like, we didn't know about gorillas until the 1920s. There were fucking all kinds of people in Africa and the Congo telling, the Dutch there, no, man, there's these big, giant fucking apes that live out in the fucking mountains. No, you guys are crazy. It doesn't exist. Kind of the same way we look at people that believe in Bigfoot.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, somebody fucking sees this animal, and now every zoo has fucking gorillas, and we just accept that they're real.
Yeah. Right? Fair point.
Mean, I won't count it out of the realm of possibility, just because, again, I know how big the world is. I know how dense forests can be. Like, it's another thing. Like, I wonder if any of these people that are a hard no on the possibility of a creature like that existing outside of our knowledge have ever really actually been in the wilderness. Like, truly been in a fucking forest, not a campsite, not a campground, but like out in the fucking woods. It's
it's so easy to get lost. I mean, I've been to like Algonquin Park and stuff like that. That shit is even that.
Yeah.
And there's stuff all around, and we were in like dense woods. It's scary there.
We've stumbled upon deer, and I mean, like, I'm talking like 2, 3, 4 feet away from a deer because you can't fucking see one another.
Yeah.
I mean, the woods are fucking big. I would not be surprised if something like that did exist. Now, I mean, again, I'm just being a dick when I'm like, oh, Bigfoot exists. He's real. But, like, I mean.
Well, you never know.
Yeah.
You never know.
I don't want to count that out of the realm of possibility. I really don't. I mean, some of this cryptozoology bullshit is fucking ridiculous. You know what I mean? Like, a good friend of mine still believes in the giant shark, the megalodon. He thinks that thing's still out there roaming the oceans and shit like that. I mean, that's
the giant squids, yeah.
Right? Like, that's one that I can't get behind. Like, I just can't. I mean, if you were talking to, a 50-foot fucking shark, it needs to live near the surface. No, we would fucking saw that.
We saw that by now.
But I mean, I just don't hold stuff like that out of the realm of possibility. Because to me, it also kind of rings true with, like, it kind of brings up the alien kind of conversation. You know what I mean? Just because I haven't seen it, or there's not like 100% hard proof, it doesn't mean I'm going to count it out from being like possible.
Exactly.
And I mean, I know that I've said this, and some religious people tried to use that one against me. You know what I mean? That, well, I'm just not going to count it out. Well, why don't you, why do you count out that shit? Well, circumstances are a little bit different, but yeah, no, I really like. I think it's dumb of us. I think it's dumb of mankind to honestly think that we know it all, that we've seen everything that it is.
Self-important are we that we think we know everything when we haven't? Like you said, I mean, we haven't mapped every single inch of the earth.
No,
we haven't mapped every single inch of the ocean.
Oh fuck no.
We haven't even explored 1/10 of the ocean. Isn't that what the number is?
Yeah. It's small.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's I think it's a joke to immediately count that kind of stuff out. I really
they just found, what was that thing they found? Was it the Mayans or the Aztecs? The village that has like 100 buildings in the forest and the jungles.
I didn't see anything about that.
That just came out last week. They found, I can't remember if it was Mayan or Aztec, but they found 100, and they would have been like tall buildings.
Yeah.
Millions of people would have lived in this city.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And there you go. I mean, you start talking or thinking about the rainforest and the shit the rainforest could be hiding from us. Because I mean, you give that 15 years, like, just like that.
Yeah.
Within 15 years of those people fleeing where they were there,
covered.
That whole thing is covered by forest.
Yeah.
Like, it's gone. That forest will engulf
the rainforest
everything.
Is really like aggressive. Yeah.
Now, boreal forest, I understand that it takes a hell of a lot longer for coniferous trees to really grow, but I mean, it's fucking.
There's a lot of untouched, beautiful, unspoiled land.
Fuck yeah! I mean, again, same friend, the same one I was arguing about, like where I use the gorilla argument. Now he thinks that because maps show the entirety of the world, that humans have been to every single spot on the Earth. That no,
they take pictures from space. But you can't penetrate the forest treetops.
It was a fun argument. I had a really good time with that one.
That's so funny.
Because I mean,
they made maps back in the freaking day. They didn't even know it was on the other side of the thing. That's why the maps looked weird.
Right. But that's cool though. I wonder what else they would do. Like if they classify unicorns as being real.
Somebody out there probably is.
Yeah, leprechauns. Wait, so if California designates the Sasquatch as being a real thing, like it's a real species, does that mean I can identify as one?
I guess. I mean, your beard's almost there.
Yeah. All right.
I'll let my leg hair grow out. And, I'll be there too.
But no, I've always kind of, not really outward wished it, but there's always been this hope of mine that one day, like, I will see some fucking redneck fucking asshole with a goddamn Sasquatch tied off to the roof of his fucking truck.
I don't want to see a dead one. I'd like to see where like a redneck is trying to shoot something, and a Sasquatch comes and beats the crap out of him, and it's all filmed.
We will never believe film. True. We will never believe film. We will never believe video.
By the way,
we need a fucking body.
Did you see the story that came out in the New York Times today? And I'm sure it's not a news story, but it was kind of new to me. The guy got that. Oh God, I can't remember what it was called. And it's basically you can take video and you can, put your face on it or anybody's face on it. They're using it mostly in porns right now to put like celebrity porns.
I've seen that.
It's on Reddit apparently. The guy said they were talking about on Reddit. But it's kind of scary because now, if the P tape against 45 comes out, can I believe it?
Yeah, right. It's so hard. You start thinking about like the world of CGI and where we're at with like doctoring stuff. You know what I mean? Like, it's hard to tell what's real and what's fucking fake.
Yeah,
unless
that's
body.
True.
And that's my whole thing with the Sasquatch. Like, if it is to ever be like unequivocally found, we will need a body. Like,
But I mean, what about you're probably too young to remember this alien autopsy from the 90s.
Yeah, but that was fake. We know it was fake. The guy that created it admitted that it was fake.
But there's a million videos out there of aliens and stuff, right? Supposed dead bodies, but.
Well, again, and unless we're allowed to see it, and it's not like, I
guess you'd have to have like more than just like one nutbag doctor having the body. You'd have to have like a whole host of scientists there.
Well, and that's the difference between believing the government, because aliens come, it's not a redneck dealing with them, right? Like, it's the government, or a redneck that shot a Sasquatch. Like, I'll believe that fucking redneck. I absolutely will. I don't know why, but there just seems to be something very trusting.
So they just find out it's like some Oregon person,
Yeah, just some wild. Hey, if that's the fucking case, then you go to jail for the murder you just committed. We call it a day, but you tried. No, I'd be pumped. I'd be fucking pumped on that.
I think it'd be pretty amazing if there actually was. But then the worry is then people are out, once we get that Bigfoot, there's already people out in the woods trying to find Bigfoot. If you found an actual real dead one, you'd have, 100 times the amount of people in the woods trying to find them.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Why does Jim Bob get to have a fucking Sasquatch trophy and I don't? Like, it's Cletus's time to shine.
They're trying to support
right. Him. Yeah, and you even think like what a Bigfoot fucking corpse would bring.
Yeah.
You'd be able to sell that to any fucking university you want for a few $100,000.
Sell it to Ripley's for millions.
Yeah. No, it'd be dope though.
Okay. Well, maybe one day we'll find out.
Hopefully, I'm gonna find out.
He like leaves his life to go live in the woods and track.
I'm on the case now, people. Don't worry. Arthur's got it. Arthur's gonna find the Sasquatch.
He like takes one as his wife.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh hells yeah. We can braid each other's beards. It'll be it'll be nice. Therapeutic for the both of us.
So let's talk about now. I don't know what state this is. Marion High School. I don't know what state this is. They now want to outlaw all backpacks to keep gun violence away, obviously handguns or weapons coming to school. They say that with kids using online Chromebooks, and they have less textbooks, and they're using tablets and phones. They don't need as much backpack. What they want, they'll offer to sell you a $15 mesh backpack that's see-through, or you can get a clear plastic one that you can see through. But all backpacks must be, able to be seen inside. If you don't want that, you can leave your backpack in an office where they'll stay until the end of the day, but you're not allowed to take them to lockers or to classrooms.
Okay.
Knee jerk?
I think so, a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, most of the decisions that are going to be made towards this are going to be relatively knee-jerky reactions, right? But
yeah,
I mean, I don't see the harm in this.
I don't think it's the worst thing in the world.
It's kind of, it strips away some of the kids' individuality or their ability to be as individualistic as they want to be. Because, I mean, the high school, like, that's a big part about being a teenager is being your own person and shit, right? So
everything has to be see-through. Now, let's put our hands for the kids that have to go to gym.
Yeah.
You're going to see their sweaty gym shorts or socks or whatever. Or if you're on your period, your underwear, your tampons, your pads are visible through the bag.
Yeah, but I mean, let's say exposure to that, though, might take the stigma around or away from kids being dicks about it.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm not
I say that's a fucking, 100%, but I mean, I think there's some logic to that.
Yeah, I really don't have a problem with it because you still have access to a backpack.
Yeah.
It's not like now, if it's raining and you have the mesh bag, your backpack's going to get
I guess. You're fucked, yeah.
Put your stuff in a plastic bag, I guess, and once you get into school, you'll have to take it out. But the plastic one, But, I will say this, at work, one time we had these green bags that were kind of clearish.
Yeah.
And people were so angry. People can see what I'm buying, and I'm thinking you're buying tomatoes and bananas. Like, but people really do, they want their privacy, even in, even in something simple like going to the grocery store, even though we can all see what you've bought because you've laid it on the belt.
I mean, at school, though, I don't think you deserve fucking, like, all-out privacy. I really don't.
Yeah. Well, even they can check your lockers if they need to, right?
But even before all this, like, gun control fucking bullshit, I've never believed in, I mean, really, in all kind of life, I don't think that anyone has the right to, like, complete secrecy and privacy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because then you're just allowing the door to be open for you to do something fucked up.
If I'm going into a school, right now, it's even if it's a private school, you're going to a school where lots of people are sharing that space and are expecting to be safe, right? Should I expect 100% privacy if I can bring a weapon into school? I mean, people in some schools have to go through a scanner.
Metal detectors.
Whatever the things are. Sometimes you get your bags checked when you're going into a baseball game.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you do.
So, I mean, I don't really have a problem with it. I do think it's a knee-jerk reaction.
Yeah,
now, what if I wanted to get my or what is it? What's that? Not Teflon. What's the bulletproof thing called?
Kevlar.
Kevlar. What if I wanted my Kevlar backpack to keep me safe in case there was a school shooting? Now I can't have that.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So.
I mean, you're absolutely correct. Like, it's a knee-jerk reaction.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's not that bad of a solution to that.
It's not the worst. And like they said, you just have to keep your bag in a separate room.
Yeah. Yeah, it just alleviates some of that bullshit.
Yeah. So if you had your tampons, that's what I would do. If I was a kid and I was embarrassed to have my tampons at school, I'd keep them in the class and I'd be like, look, I need to go in here to get my tampons out.
Yeah. Fuck that shit. Don't even hide it. Like, don't.
I don't. At work, I don't because now I'm an adult. But when I was a teenagers are, you don't want your pad to show. You're like, can you see my pad?
Oh, yeah,
like, everything is so scary, right? When you're a girl.
Teenagers
you can't let the guys know you're on your period.
Right,
yeah, that's the worst.
It's fucking dumb. Like,
yeah.
Why care?
I know, but it's easy to say that. But I'm sure when you were 13, if a girl had bled through her pants, you would have been like, ha ha.
Yeah, but that's because well, actually, no, I wouldn't have. Because I grew up in a house with 3 fucking women. Like, that to me, that stuff's like, it's seriously a non-fucking issue. Like, I'm not weirded out by it. I'm not grossed out by it. Like, it's a natural fucking thing. Like, I mean, the clear back, I like it. I don't think it's that bad. I really don't.
Yeah.
I can absolutely see some backlash. Because again, like, my whole issue, like, if that was me and I was in high school and they said, hey, you got to use this, I would be pissed that they're stripping me of a bit of me being an individual. I mean, I used to, you know, put patches on my backpack or fucking. I mean, I wrote some pretty. I mean,
yeah, I used to write on my backpacks. Yeah.
In today's standards, the shit that I wrote on my backpack was real problematic, and I probably would have been the campaign of a fucking Twitter hate campaign.
I used to put things like Billy Idol is cool.
Yeah. Oh no, mine was definitely more fucking bro kind of, you know, like it definitely wasn't cool. Yeah. But I mean that to me is the only real issue that I see with it. Is it, again, it just strips the kids a little bit of them finding who they are.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that's a big
and that part. Is kind of the time when you're doing it.
Yeah,
right?
It's a big part. I mean, your whole teenage years, like that's to me really what it's about is figuring out who you are as a person and how you want to portray yourself to the world and shit like that, right? Now I obviously understand that something as innocuous as a backpack doesn't really hold all that power, but just having that ability to, you know, customize your entire fucking life, kind of, it does. Like it really does have, you know, a hole there, I guess. But I mean, I would have given that up though if my school had suffered some kind of fucking school shooting though, and that was like,
and I think if I lived in the States, I wouldn't fight that because it would be kind of like, you know what?
Yeah, I mean, again, like, is it going to fix the problem completely? Of course, fucking not. Like, of course not. That's a dumb fix.
But for the schools where you see all these cases, now we're not talking about huge school shootings where people get these automatic weapons or semi-automatic weapons. We're talking about shootings where a kid brings a gun in because he's scared or she's scared, and the gun goes off by accident, gang violence, whatever the reason being. That would, you know, the girl who had it in her bag and she dropped it and shot 3 people because it went off by accident.
Fucking
you know.
Fucking idiot. Hey, I don't know. I mean, it is what it is. Like it's a surface fix. I think it's more about like kind of pat themselves on the back and be like, yeah, we're, you know, this is a solution.
I mean, it is a solution. It's not the only solution. I mean, you still need to fix the bigger problem, but it is a small solution that could help in some cases.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Hopefully. I mean, I'd like to, you know, not have to see about a bunch of kids getting fucking shot to death again.
Yeah. Like, I could go the rest of my life without seeing that.
Yeah,
I agree.
Right? I really could. Like, I really fucking could. It'd be nice.
Here's another, well, I mean, sad. A 14-year-old girl is dead. So a 14-year-old girl was out during lunch break drinking with her friends behind the school. I guess there's a forest and a creek behind her school. They were drinking something they stole from a convenience store because they sell alcohol in the convenience stores in Quebec.
Yeah.
It was called FCKD Up, obviously fucked up. It contained, let me read this because I was a little bit shocked by how much it had in it. 11.9% alcohol, and it also has a plant in it that contains about double the amount of caffeine as a coffee bean would. So it was a pretty strong drink for a small, I mean, she doesn't look big. She doesn't look, you know, fully grown 14-year-old girl to be drinking. They got drunk. They all went back to class after lunch break. She stayed out there, and they found her later on dead in the stream 3 days later.
Oh shit, eh?
Yeah. So now whether she fell over and died, they haven't said yet. Whether it was alcohol overdose, whether she had a heart attack from the combination of the alcohol and the caffeine, we don't know yet. But, you know, it did lead directly to her death. Now, the chain of convenience stores have pulled the drink from their shelves.
Oh, of course.
And actually the the company that made it, I don't know if I have the name of it here, they think that it was a mistake that they made it, and they are gonna stop making it.
Oh yeah, no, alcohol and caffeine it's an interesting mix. Like fuck. I mean,
I would never do it because my family has bad hearts and I'm terrified to have a heart attack, so I would never even try that combination.
I mean, I'd say I'm a seasoned drinker, you know, but I don't fuck with that. There's a beer, a Molson Canadian, that had that a few years back. It was, they caffeinated it, and it, holy fuck, like I can imagine. And if this stuff's not beer, like it's legit liquor, like I wouldn't be surprised if she did fucking have a heart attack or something.
Yeah,
what it's
saying here is 1 can is the equivalent of 4 scotches or 4 shots of vodka or 4 glasses of wine, or 4 cans of beer. 1 tin. And these tins now, they are marketed obviously to 21, 22, young adults.
Yeah.
But they're bright pink and red and purple and cute looking. So of course the teens are going to want to try it. And it's called Fucked Up.
Yeah, no, it's funny. It's got a cool name. It looks like it's fruity. It looks like it's not going to fucking be that icky for them. Yeah, no, it's Mike's Hard Lemonade all over again.
Yeah, it's called the Goloso Group. At the time of this article, they said they were rethinking it, but I saw something today where they said, it was a mistake.
Oh, that's good. I mean, hey, you got to give respect when people can admit that they fucked up.
I'm happy. I'm so happy that they've done this because they're like, we directly caused death. Yeah. Whether it was, who knows? But she drank it. She got overdrunk. She didn't know her limits. Whatever happened, we don't know. She died because she drank this drink.
Yeah.
Yes, they didn't give it to her. They wasn't sold to her. They, they shoplifted them, but still, that's dangerous to be out there. 4 shots in 1 drink is so dangerous.
See, that's where having your liquor being sold over the counter is a real fucking danger.
Yeah.
Because it's not like, now that we're doing it here a bit, where it's beer and wine.
Yeah.
Even if kids go in and they steal a bunch of beer,
they're only going to be able to get a couple single cans.
Exactly. There's no way in hell, unless they fucking like smash and grab with a fucking U-Haul truck, to get enough beer to kill them. You know. But with liquor, there's a good fucking chance that you could die of alcohol poisoning. Like 1 fucking 40-pounder of vodka could kill a person.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, kids don't know their limits. Look, I know what just happened with my son last year. He ended up in the hospital because he drank too much. Normally, when I would let him go to a party, I'd buy him like 4 to 6 coolers.
Yeah.
Or pre-mixed drinks, because then at least you can't get in trouble with that. It's already pre-mixed. You're not controlling the liquor.
Yeah.
Right? And up until then, he had no problems, but somebody bought him a big bottle of vodka. And so he ended up in the hospital somehow.
I mean, it sucks that he had to go to the hospital, but I mean, it's good on him. You got to learn. You got to learn those limits, and it's so much easier to learn your limits when you're a teenager and still kind of rubbery. It's like, if I was learning how to drink right now, fuck my life. Like, I do not want to know how fucking a 30-year-old me is going to respond to drinking an entire fucking 40 of whiskey. Like, I don't want to know that. Like, I don't want to know how I'm going to fucking be after drinking that much fucking liquor. But when I was a kid, it was like, fuck, man, I'm invincible. Like, I'm going to down this entire fucking bottle.
Yeah. And I mean, I know a lot of people hate that we have the LCBO here.
Yeah.
They shouldn't control it. It should be up to, but this is the sort of thing that can happen. And I've never been against the LCBO because I always kind of thought that they, and as much as I hate to say a nanny state, they do kind of protect us and protect our kids, because it's hard to get, I mean, just to be 14 and go into the liquor store. If you're not with an adult, they're automatically looking at you.
Yeah, well, fuck yeah.
Right? And so you're already standing out. It's going to be a lot harder to, steal alcohol in the liquor store. And like you said, now it's opening to some stores.
Yeah.
But as you said, it's not like a 40-pounder. It's not a 60-pounder.
No, you can grab a couple of tall cans. You might get out with them. You know what I mean? Like, if you're
a bottle of wine. But most kids don't like wine, so they're not trying to steal wine because it tastes disgusting.
First time I ever got drunk was on wine. Ooh, fuck me. That was a night to forget.
Oh God! I remember one time we were behind one of the buildings and we were drinking. Someone stole some dessert wine from their mom, and I had a taste of it. I was like, I'm not drinking that anymore. That was it.
See, that's how it's supposed to be done when you're a kid.
Yeah.
You don't go out and steal your liquor from a store. You steal it from your parents, you drink whatever fucking weird liqueurs they have lying around, because nobody fucking actually drinks strawberry daiquiris, but they got fucking 17 bottles of the shit to make it.
Somehow, yeah.
Right? So you fucking drink that shit.
Or if you stole your parents' vodka, you filled it with water halfway.
Water. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you turn 19, they give you said bottle of water for your 19th.
Like, fuck. Yeah. I mean, I really didn't drink much. I think the first time I really got drunk, I was 17. It was on peach schnapps. Because I chose that. Yeah. But for the most part, I really wasn't a heavy drinker. And the few times that I got sick, I'm not a person that likes to throw up. So I don't drink a lot. Even now, I'm like I drink 4 drinks and I'm pretty happy.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I'll throw up every once in a while, depending on how quick I'm pounding everything into me. But I mean, I don't think anybody enjoys it. Well, actually, I can't say that. There are, I guess, you know.
And some people it doesn't affect. See, if I have to throw up, I'm having a panic attack beforehand.
Yeah.
I really have a phobia of throwing up.
Yeah,
so when I know I'm throwing up, I feel it coming and I get really scared.
Yeah.
And then when I do throw up, I'm crying after and I'm all like emotionally broken inside. I remember when Logan was home with the chicken pox, so he's like maybe in grade 7 or grade 8, and I got sick, and I made him hold my hand because I knew I was going to throw up, and he's like, he just wanted to die. He did not want to be in there with his sick mom, right? But I can't be alone if I throw up. That's like my worst nightmare.
Yeah. See, for me, if I'm going to puke, it's happening while I'm sleeping. Now, it's not that I puke while I'm sleeping. I will just wake up and grab a garbage can if I can't make it to the bathroom. Or, you know, out a window. I've done that a couple of times. Out a fucking tent door. I've done that more than a few times.
Yeah.
It just happens, you know, but
yeah. Well, I mean, you're young, you party, right? Scott, I can remember, oh God, one time Scott had a party. We had a party at our old apartment and they were I didn't know they were in the kitchen doing Zambuca shots.
Oh,
so then of course he puked all over the floor and I cleaned that up. And then when he went to bed the next morning, there was puke all over his shoulder and the pillow and yeah.
No, I've only ever thrown up my sleep once. That was my 19th birthday. My father and my uncles got me like blacked out drunk. Only time in my life I've ever been blacked out.
Yeah, I blacked out one time.
Yeah, and like that was kind of the night that taught me like, no, it's not fun to fucking, you know. And that's why even like a lot of those kind of mixed drinks and shit. Like I'm not a big liquor drinker in the first place.
Yeah.
But those pre-made like Monsters, even the Mike's Hard, Smirnoff Ice, the Vex and stuff like that. It's just I can't do that shit. Like it's it's bad. Like, and you know, it's
I like to finish just one thing. Like we go out for my boss pays for our Christmas party every year, so we go out to the local neighborhood, you know, Sheila's Joe's, and we drink for free. And I mean, I'll try a different drink. Everything I have there, I drink maybe 6-7 drinks at the most because we do some shots and stuff.
Yeah,
everything is different, but it's just like, you know, once a year I'll do that. But normally I don't do a lot of shooters. I don't.
Oh fuck no.
Drink a ton of different, like, don't mix your liquor, right? I did learn that years ago.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. But there it is, though. That's the problem with kids drinking. And, like, it's weird, though, because I do feel like when you are a teenager, you have to. You have to start learning your tolerance for kind of stuff, you know?
You have to, well, you need to know how much you can handle so that when you aren't around your parents or you're not around your good friends that you can trust, you know when it's time to stop. You know when it's time to be like, you know what, I'm getting into danger here.
I do kind of think that, you know, not forcing, but when you're 16, 17, even 18, you're still really young. You're awkward. You know, you have to put yourself in those kind of positions, those awkward positions. That makes you a more adjusted adult. There's nothing wrong with seeing a sloppy fucking 17-year-old drunk. You know what I mean? Like, or you're even. Yeah, exactly. Or you're 18 and you can't handle your liquor. Like, yeah, that's to be expected. But like, if I'm out and I see a fucking 30-year-old who's acting like they're fucking 20, you know, to me that's like embarrassing as fuck. Like you're an embarrassment.
Well, that's what our dad always said to us. You know, I turned 17 and my dad said to me, he's like, you know, it's okay for you to drink a bit, but I don't want you coming home sloppy and embarrassing yourself, right? No. And I never really did. I mean, I was 21 when I really got sloppy the first time.
Yeah.
But I mean, at New Year's, Marley asked if she could have some friends over and if I could make them some drinks. And I'm like, you know what? I'll ask their parents because they're her good friends. Their parents said it was fine, that I was the, you know, keep them safe, obviously.
Yeah.
And I mean, I mixed up some drinks, and one of them barely even drank because she said it was too strong, which it was super weak. And the other one, of course, was so drunk from like so many drinks. It was like, you know, the fake drunk girl, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, they didn't even finish I made one blender full of drinks and they didn't finish it.
Fucking lightweights.
Well, they're 15 and 16. Of course they didn't finish it.
Fucking lightweights. Fucking get her India.
All right, they be chugging from the blender.
Yeah, fucking dry that India. I still kind of remember the first night I got drunk, and it was, I mean, we drank a fucking shit ton. It was out east with my Uncle Scott, and they have this disgusting as fuck wine. I don't even think it's wine. I honestly do think it was paint thinner that they were fucking making me drink. But it's called Great White, and whoo, fuck, man.
Is that because you just see white?
It had a picture of a shark on it. Like, it was fucking $6, I think, a bottle. Like, we got
the highfalutin stuff.
Yeah, we got some fucking wasted that night. But yeah, and I mean, like, it's true, because if you at that age, I mean, I was 13. If you would have put me in a liquor store or even a convenience store in Quebec and said, no, go pick out your drinks, like, I would have went for one of those, like, insanely high alcohol content, fruity looking, you know.
Yeah.
They definitely do kind of appeal to kids. And I mean, again, we've all most children stole a drink out of their parents, whatever it was, you know what I mean? So we always had an idea, even going into like drinking, that we knew alcohol tasted bad. You just didn't know how bad. So most kids go for those fruitier drinks because, you know they can fucking handle them.
They taste good.
Excuse me.
Yeah, exactly. Nobody wants to drink rye straight when you're like 15 years old.
No. Oh, fuck. I don't want to do that now.
No.
Like, I swear to God, every time I see these people and like, oh my God, this is the best fucking bourbon I've ever drank. Like, fuck you, you fucking hipster fuck. Like,
I know.
Don't enjoy that.
I drink my whiskey on the rocks, just like no, that tastes disgusting.
Yeah, you do not enjoy that. You are trying too fucking hard. Fuck you.
No, I don't like any straight liquor. I mean, I'll do shots and stuff, but for the most part, I don't enjoy those either because they don't taste good.
I only do with Jaeger. I fucking love Jägermeister.
I never had a Jägermeister.
It tastes roughly like Sambuca.
Oh, I wouldn't like it. I don't like
that shit. Will woo. Like,
I'm sure.
Wow.
Jaeger bombs for a reason.
Oh my God. See, and that's so fucking dangerous. Like, there was a buddy of mine's birthday. He turned 30, and I drank 2 pitchers of beer, and then I went and ordered Jaeger bombs, and fucking after I drank them, holy shit! Like, I could literally feel my ribs pounding. Like, my heart was boom, 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 boom. But I mean, it gave me the ability to keep on fucking trucking through the rest of the night. So.
Sister Patty says she started out drinking rye and water because she couldn't afford the pop.
Well, you do gotta, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Now, Sister Patty, was that Dad's stolen rye? Because that was Dad's drink. He'd have a couple rye and cokes on a Sunday, and just be chilled.
Oh fuck! What did he drink? R&R or Crown?
No, Crown.
Crown.
That was Dad's drink.
Yeah. Lots of people like Crown Royal.
Yeah. The last Christmas, I bought for him a bottle of Crown Royal with the little glasses that matched.
Right on.
Yeah.
I can't stand it.
I'm not a huge... I mean, I don't mind if I went out and had a rye and ginger. I could handle that, but I'm not drinking that all night.
Oh, it's instant gut rot for me. Like, instant.
Oh, Patty says Golden Wedding. Maybe Golden Wedding was Dad's favorite?
Huh?
She'd know better. She's older.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
No, fuck that. Keep all liquor gross. Stop giving kids liquor. Make them earn their drunk.
Yeah.
if we put our foots down now, we can enact a change.
In my house, it'd be the beer. They'd have to rustle it from Scott to steal a beer from Scott. Good luck with that. Yeah. I've kept vodka in the fridge in the freezer for years. I have a couple of flavored drinks that just sit in there.
Okay. When was the last time you took a sip out of that vodka?
I don't need to because Logan has his own bottle of vodka.
So you might want to go test that. It might be fucking water by now.
No, because it's like honestly, if he wanted to drink, and the same with Marley, I would allow them. They just they have to be smart. They have to be careful.
No, exactly. You guys are realistic, and you understand that it's going to happen regardless. You might as well, ensure that they're safe about it. If only more parents kind of took that approach. It's to me, it's very dangerous. Yeah. To assume that your teenager is not going to go out and do stupid teenager things.
That's it 100%. I know what kids get up to.
We all did stupid teenager things. There wasn't a single fucking one of us. I mean, me and Liz were going through old photo albums a little while ago, and I seen a girl at one of the parties we threw, fucking hammered drunk, who I'm just assuming right now is like an open heart surgeon. Like, this chick was fucking going places, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But she, got fucking lit fucking drunk. Like, I'm surprised she didn't end up at the hospital that fucking night. Like,
yeah. But
it's something that we all do. Like, teenagers, they're not smart.
Yeah, and honestly, like I've said, my son, I mean, he's a smart ass. 100% a smart ass. But if the worst thing my son does through his teens is to go to the hospital one time for over drinking, that's not so bad.
Yeah. I mean,
he's 18 years old now. He's an adult. That's the worst trouble he's ever caused me. I'm okay with that so far,
That must be nice. I'm sure my parents are jealous over that. Because I know, like, just me, myself, I caused way more fucking grief than that.
Yeah. I mean, not to say we don't fight. We have our fights and stuff. Yeah. But really, that was the worst thing he's ever done. He doesn't get in touch with. He wasn't involved in any crimes. He didn't get suspended. He didn't really get into too many fights at school. So, yeah.
He's not a teenage father.
Oh, God, touch wood. No, still 18. Yeah. But I mean, I've taught them about safe sex too. And I've said, you know, like, if you are really becoming sexually active, you need to come to me and I will make sure you don't get anybody pregnant or get it, you know, you have the ability to keep from getting a STD if you're smart. So we're just having that conversation because one of Marley's friends, who's only 15, is having sex since she was 14. So that was a little, I'm not shocking, but I was disappointed that the girl is just relying on condoms at this point.
Oh yeah, they don't fucking do goddamn thing. I mean, if my father's to be believed, because he said all the time that I was a fucking hole in the condom. I mean, that could have just been him showing his own unique way of loving me. But
but no, and that's what I you know, and I beg them. I'm like, I will do whatever I can to help you, you know, make good choices, and I'll never be mad at you. So I'll be mad if you do something stupid like go out and bone somebody without a condom or birth control and you get them knocked up or you get an STD because now you had every option to come to me and keep you safe. Yeah. So
it's there's no excuse. Like there's no excuse.
And I'm not the kind of person that will get mad at that stuff. No. Do I want them doing stuff like that? No, but my son's 18 and my daughter's 16.
Yeah, well, there's nothing you can do. He's grown. He's an adult. You know what I mean?
He's an adult, absolutely. But I'll still help him if he needs my help.
Absolutely. You know?
But yeah, I've always had condoms for him since he was like 14 years old. Because I'm a realist.
Again, fuck that. You should have forced this little awkward 14-year-old ass down to the drugstore and be like, no, you're buying your own rubbers, bud. Like, you're dealing with it. Like, here's adulthood. Like, you know what I mean? Like, get accustomed to the awkwardness that is this. But you know
what? I'd rather make sure he had them at 14 than force him to never go.
Oh, no. I mean, I would have walked his ass to the store and fucking stood there while he went and picked them out, went to the fucking cashier and shit. Yeah. I mean, the last few years, I've become real staunch on this. Like, I think a lot of that is being stripped away from kids. Like, that learning how to be independent in that realm of your life.
Yeah,
when it comes to drinking, sex, and stuff like that, a lot of that independence, because our generation, your generation, we know better. So we want to instill, like, we just want to show them, like, no, this is how you don't fuck up your life. So
you know what I learned? My kids won't ever learn from my mistakes or my advice. That's what I've learned being a parent so far.
Right. So you want to guide them and be helpful, which is great. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. Obviously, any chance you can give your child a heads up or a kickstart, you know what I mean? Like, that's fucking phenomenal. Yeah. But I do feel like there's a lot of independence and shit like that that's being stripped away from the younger people.
Well, he went when he turned 18 to the bank to get his account from a child to an adult.
Yeah.
He took that on himself, and he's doing a lot more things kind of independently now, which is kind of nice. It makes me freaked out because I like to control things.
Yeah.
But
I even think that about the school, right? So I have that school behind my house, and I think it's up until grade 3. Even as a grade 3 student, you were not allowed to walk home on your own. You have to have an adult pick you up.
I'm not saying it. I walked Marley to school till she was in 7th grade.
But like that strips a lot of learning the building blocks of independence, about learning right from wrong, about really putting the kid in a situation.
Because she even says that I made her afraid, and I know, and I admit to it, but I was afraid too.
Yeah.
So
it's weird to me, like, because I'm not saying like that's where all of our independence is developed, but I mean, you do learn a lot about being independent on just that tiny little walk from school to home. You know, you learn about being accountable.
This is the reason why I was super protective of my kids, because it wasn't even so much that I thought, a stranger's going to come up and steal them, like, on TV. I know what I saw as a kid. And I mean, I had men flashing their dicks to me on trains. I had men pulling over and asking me to get in their car. And I just was like, you know what? It's not going to happen with my kids. And yes, my house is literally 5 minutes from school. Yeah. Logan was in grade 7. He was allowed to walk by himself, and he could walk his sister without me.
Yeah.
She got to grade 7. She got a ride to school every day anyway and home. So I didn't have to worry that much. But yeah, all through grade 6, right up to grade 6, I walked her. I didn't care.
Yeah, no. I mean, I just feel like it does. I feel like it really is stripping a lot of the younger generations of the ability to learn how to be independent, the ability of learning you know,
the good
again,
thing is she goes to a high school and she has to take the bus by herself.
Yeah. Now living in the city is a different story. And I understand, like, I don't live in a rural country fucking town either, but
no, you're not in the Poboats.
It's just crazy to me that a kid who's 7, 8, 9 years old can't cross the street by himself and go to the apartment building that's directly across the road from the school without having an adult chaperone. Yeah. You know, it's weird to me.
Well, and then you get the other thing. Remember the guy out in BC who sent his 2 kids to the park? Yeah, and people called the cops on them.
Right? Like, it's fucked up. I don't know.
He almost lost his kids over that.
I know. Fuck, I hate this life. Yeah. Like, I can't stand that.
We've gone over 10 minutes over, but it was a good convo. Thanks for listening. We'll be back on Wednesday, and have a great week.
Yeah, take care.
Bye.